outputs of this new curriculum should be expected in the next 10 years. It's not something you want next month. Because since we have been told how Napoleon was a great orator, now Napoleon cannot help me get food. They told me combine harvesters in Saskatchewan. I don't know where Saskatchewan is. This is a geography we're taught. Instead of teaching me how to preserve Mabera forest, they're teaching me about Rhineland. This is a problem we got. We cannot run away from it. And leadership took long to see this. But now there's something happening. The bigger challenge even is the land question. Before I talk about the corruption, the land, the stability of Uganda, for over time, even with our political popularity players, the land has been sustaining Uganda with or without politicians. Now climate change has come to disrupt that, and the population growth. There's no land in rural areas. And the number of children in rural areas anywhere is worrying. That you cannot say in the next 20 years that there will be stability in the villages. It will not be there. And that's why I told you, government is not making a deliberate effort to make sure that at least let there be a community center. For these young children to even go and kick a ball, whatever they want. Everything is split. It's like there are no local governments to plan for this. And yet we have community development officers at every sub-county level. We have them. Nobody is talking about it. And we elect people who I don't know why we elect them. Even when you tell them, they don't seem to see it. I even tell them, please, can we buy at least 4 acres in every village and leave it as community land? So that you can develop it. Soon, I bet you will even have nowhere to put your polling stations. Because everywhere. So the young people are now affected because of comparative needs. They see Sarah glittering. I'm also this. I'm also a graduate. Why her? So some of them are analytical. Others are emotive. I also want. They forget, even when you are all given the same platform, there are other talents that determine the quality of life you lead. But we are also not teaching them, we are just telling them, Dombo is the problem. Dombo is the problem. I began from there. No, let's also tell them that the opportunities are here. They can be harnessed this way. The challenge is here. It can be addressed this way. If we go by what we are saying now, like rational ignorance, where the majority is, we all go. There will be no leadership. Leadership tends to say, no, this is this, but I believe in this. We lack. So the young men could end up in political games they are less aware of.
Let me Google that one and I see rational ignorance.
Yes.
Honorable Kivumbi.
Yes.
Yes. As it Google's rational ignorance.
Honorable Kivumbi, let me come to you.
You know the majority is wrong, but you choose to be with them.
Chris, let's bring the conversation here. Honorable Kivumbi, these young people, this conversation has been on Spaces for a while. They met police on the 17th of July. They've gone on to be able to voice. They even had to get on to tell people what to do. Don't carry stones, be peaceful, do all these things. When you look at these protests and you look at the wave from West Africa, are we cognizant of what is coming to us as a country? And can demonstrations make change?
Let my professor bit benefit.
Yeah, I already said.
Yes. He touched about ministries today. And those of you in Chankwans, government should have a unit cost. Okay?
That was one of the resolutions in Chankwanzi.
It's a point I've been making over the years, is that you cannot, even at home, you know the cost of electricity, of water, of a matchbox, a loaf of bread, things you do.
Yeah.
And they can't vary every year. Every agency. Even us who are Hajis, you can't have it in different prices, in different homes. Okay? So, you cannot afford, sorry, the rules don't permit me to say anything, but if it's an audit report, if in the audit I can, but not on the report, you cannot be making a road, bitumen grade 1, in Congo for 5 billion per kilometer. 5 billion per kilometer. So can you have a unit cost? The second thing you need to investigate are mushrooming called projects in government agencies.
Called what?
Government projects, so-called projects. And I know you never tackled this area. I audit a ministry, and I realize that 2/3 of its budget are projects. Now, when you go to project implementation, that's where you find massive corruption. A project that is supposed to last 3 years, started in 2017, has not taken off. It overlaps a loan period, and it has not taken off. Money eaten. You have 14 trillion of borrowed money and dispatched.
Let me give you information.
And dispatched. All that money is in projects.
Just a second, Honorable Dom.
Okay. No, we can give.
You know, when we were in Chankwanzi, the Secretary of the Treasury did make a presentation about the non-performing loans. And he went loan by loan and why. And it was very interesting to note that many loans stop at procurement level. Once the procurement of certain either assets or signing the agreement is conducted, then you find people disinterested. But the bigger question would be, in such a situation, has Parliament, why were the constitutional makers, why did the constitutional makers enjoin Parliament in the process of determining the loans? I remember when I was in Parliament, there is a time when they brought a loan about youth livelihood something to be implemented by the Minister of Finance. And they brought it towards the end of the financial year, and they put a condition saying, if we don't pass the loan, the budget is not going to be funded. We refused to approve the loan. The loan was restructured and was shifted from Minister of Finance to the Minister of Gender. You remember very well. Yes. It was a big spirited fight. So why has Parliament, right now, you hear very disgusting stories of members of Parliament, instead of discussing the details of loans, they ask for their cuts. They don't even go into the details. So there is a lot that is happening, and we must.
Can I even give you more? I discover, the Auditor General actually discover, because if I say I discover, I delve into an area where I'm not permitted. The Auditor General discovers loans passed without a concept note. Money borrowed without a concept note.
So how that is escape Parliament?
That's why in some of my committees I was inviting even the chairpersons of committees to ask them, how did this loan pass through Parliament? How did you clear it without a concept note, without a BOQ? You use design and build. Can you believe you borrow money on a design and build concept? Now, all these things, we are sticking with a lots of money. And the moment, and because of the time lag you have no time to audit projects. And that's where lots of money are. I've looked at projects that I have stalled for 10 years, 15 years. So all of them in villages for water pumping, for irrigation, for everything. Health, government procures, for example. Government procures ICU beds, knowing the ceilings in hospitals cannot sustain the appendants. And you spend lots of money. They're all packed in boxes in hospitals, all referrals, hospitals. Now, this kind of wastage, do you know why? Because the procurement is juicy. The commission on procurement is the cut on procurement.
Yes. In the Katakwi, they say the Valley Dam would cost 150 million. Moses Biarohanga went and desilted the Valley Dam at 15 or 20 million.
Okay.
So,
the
last thing is to be who we are. Let us be a constitutional order. Let us have a belief in constitutionalism. Let rights be rights. Let people be heard, no matter how uncomfortable with what they are going to say. If young people are saying they want to demonstrate, tell them Kampala Road is not good, okay? But take Acacia Road. Don't come to Parliament.
On a Sunday.
Oh, whether in a, that can be debatable. Because the demonstration has to also have a meaning. Yes, it has to have a meaning. It's not in vain. The people want to demonstrate where there are people, they are seen. That's what it means. Because the right to participate and influence government is a fundamental right. Therefore, let's say people want to demonstrate. You can't go to Tax Park, okay? But you can gazette for you a road. March from this side of the road to the other. You need less capacity. Do you know the cost that was incurred on Thursday? The last time I looked at a riot, the cost of each riot was 2 billion. Managing a riot, that was when I was in defense. 2 billion, they had budgeted 40 billion, they had planned for 20 riots in a given year. So 40 billion was allocated for a budget to manage a riot. I don't know what this one costed. It would have costed around 4 to 5 billion. Now, all that money can be saved if you manage the road and tell them you will march from Makerere, we'll gazette for you, pass to Rugogo, go to Nambole, there is a free speech, government will put for you public speakers, you will spend a day there. It's okay. Can't that be cheaper?
Ruto tried and
Would you want to benchmark with Kenya and find out what?
Okay.
No.
Gentlemen, let me
Kenya was benchmarked. You see, Kenya, the demonstrations in Kenya have a slight difference with the demonstrations in Uganda. Because you see, that's why I looked at the state one, tried to make the movement of young people partisan by descending on NUP, tried to paint it a NUP affair. The next thing normally security forces do is to turn a genuine peaceful demonstration easily into a riot by firing tear gas to justify why they should use violence. So at the end of the day, it's all about a non-belief in a constitutional order. Giving people rights. Refusing people to say things who are not comfortable to be said.
Lastly,
even in Parliament, even where Parliament now, Obore, here you are, you and us, all these small things you can solve internally that give us a bad name, let's talk about them. Should you commissioners? Should you what? Should you what? You leave things hanging for which other people now hinge on to hang you. He was a commissioner of Parliament.
Honorable Kivumbi, let me bring in Dr. Sarah because of our time is fast spent. Doctor, this